Blessings, everyone. My name is Kendra, and I am the founder of Worthy Women Arise. I wanted to come on today to post my very first teaching. I was able and honored to teach it inside my mentorship group that I am in under my leader, Apostle Bridget Grisette. And I am led to post it and teach it, reteach it, and post it here on Worthy Women Arise because this is something that a lot of us, not just women, but of a lot of us in life, men and women, need to come into grips and terms within this season. So here I'm going to share my screen. How do I play? Okay, continue to share. All right, here is the name of the teaching. Eagles rise to the call. The reason behind this teaching is because I was in prayer one day, and as I was in prayer, I began to see this eagle. And when I say the wings on these things are gigantic, it reminded me. I knew in my mind, I knew like my spirit knew this was an eagle because that's all I'm saying as I see, oh, that's an eagle. But the wings were flapping and they were so huge in my dream. I mean, they looked at like angel wings. That's all I could think of was, oh, they look like angel wings. So I began to do a deep dive and study into eagles, which that is what led me to this teaching. So today it's not about birds. It's about becoming, okay? Everybody goes through a process, even animals, okay? And the eagle is not just symbolism, it is a picture of who we are called to be. The question today is not do we like eagles or do we like birds, period, okay? The question is, as we go through these slides, are you ready to rise? Now I'm changing slides. I pray that you guys can see my slide change. Express escape. Go back. Continue. Okay, for some reason, it won't play like that. Let's try one more time. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do it this way. All right, here, slide two. The letters at the top is Hebrew letters. Okay, that's how they wrote back in the day. And the word for eagle is nesher or nasher. It carries the idea to fall, to shed, to become bald, which is what I have there, which means to fall out, to be bald, which immediately tells us something powerful. It tells us that renewal requires loss. Renewal requires loss. There are times in life where we're not ready to let go of things. We're not ready to let go of people, places, things, material things. But renewal, in order to be renewed, it requires loss. So before we get to the soaring, before we get to the strength of the eagle, before we get to the fearlessness of the eagle, and before we understand the shedding process, eagles shed old feathers. We must understand shedding. I'm sorry. We must first understand the shedding process. Eagles shed old feathers so new ones can grow. And spiritually, God will allow things to fall off you that cannot survive your next altitude. Okay? Some of the things we be holding on to, it cannot go with us in the next season, in the next altitude, okay? So we are not losing. I want you to understand we are not losing. You are not losing. You're molting, which means you're shedding. You're shedding some relationships. You're shedding some habits. unhealthy habits, bad habits. You're shedding some mindsets. You know, some of us, we're stuck in poverty mindsets. We're stuck into this mindset that's not of God. Okay, we're shedding some insecurities. We can honestly say there is something, whether you want to admit it or not. We've all been in the place of life where we've been insecure about something that is not what God is calling us to do, okay? We are shedding insecurities. We are shedding, some of us try to take family. Everybody is not meant to go with you. I can't stand when I be hearing these songs, especially rap songs, talking about they coming back to get the whole hood. God ain't calling for you, some of us, to go back and get the whole hood, okay? You cannot take everybody with you. You cannot take everybody with you. He's not calling you to go back and bring people that is not ready to enter into the season that you're in with you. They cannot go where you're going, okay? The next slide. So this slide is about warrior and protector. The eagle carries the character of a mighty warrior, which, if we go back to slide 2, I put that here. The last two letters of the Hebrew, if you look at those letters at the top, the last two letters of the Hebrew word means a price, a mighty warrior. So here, at the same time of carrying the characteristic of a mighty warrior, it is the protecting fatherly manifestation of God, right? So Deuteronomy 32:11, and I love to read. So here we go. Like an eagle that rouses her chicks and hovers over her young, so he spread his wings to take them up and carry them safely on his pinions. So this shows the nurturing side. An eagle stirs the nest, right? It pushes its young, but it never abandons them. Psalms 91:4 says, He will cover you with his feathers, speaking of God. And Ruth 2:12 speaks on taking refuge under his wings, speaking of God as well. The eagle teaches us something about God. He will push you and protect you at the same time. He will push you and protect you at the same time. Sometimes we need a little pushing. Sometimes we be sitting there talking about we waiting on God, and here God is waiting on us. So he say, let me give you a little push. Let me push you on in the deep end for a little bit. I will never forget the stories I've heard, or even on the show. I think it was Tyler Perry, when it was like it was Mr. Brown said his dad had pushed him off in the water, trying to teach him how to swim. Okay. Because if it was up to him, he wouldn't have got in that water. They do that to, I've seen videos where they actually do it to babies. They just push them in there and let them go. Now, my heart be stopping, but they do it, okay? So God will push you and protect you at the same time. He will scratch you in seasons, but never drop you. The stirring isn't rejection, it is elevation training. You have to be trained for the elevation. So here, eagles represent strength. They represent strength. They have a massive wingspan between 6 to 8 feet, depending on species. And they are designed for soaring, not frantic flapping. Flapping. So massive wingspan between 6 to 8 feet. I think this is why I felt like in my dream that they were huge, like angel wings, because I them things was flapping and they was huge. And once I studied this, I was like, oh, okay, it's making sense now. So eagles are designed for soaring, not frantic flapping. Frantic flapping is fear. Soaring is trust, okay? Frantic flapping. That is what them babies do when they get in that water and somebody just push them on in there. They are scared, okay? But they have to learn at some point to come up, to rise above. So soaring is trust. When Isaiah 40:31 says, they shall mount up The word mount implies rising on currents. They are rising on currents. Eagles don't fight the wind. They use the wind to soar. Many of us are exhausted in life, even right now, because we are flapping in season meant for soaring. Okay? We are flapping in seasons that we are meant to soar in. Strength in God is not noise, it is positioning. Also, in this slide, I want us to pay attention to a bald eagle's grip is capable of crushing bones and killing prey instantly. A bald eagle's grip is 10 times stronger than a human's, and a golden eagle's 150 pounds grip is stronger than a lion's bite. These are mighty powerful beings, okay? Mighty powerful beings. They carry prey equal to or greater than its weight, while they often carry prey around 3 to 4 pounds. Eagles can carry heavier loads than that. Even small lambs or large fish by utilizing speed and momentum. Okay. So, an eagle's grip is powerful, it locks in. Spiritually, catch this, spiritually, what you hold on to determines what you carry. What you hold on to determines what you carry. Some of us are gripping and holding on to offense. We're holding on to fear. We're holding on to bitterness. We're holding on to past wounds. We are holding on to hurt from past relationships, from childhood trauma. We are holding on to adult wounds, okay, adult trauma, and wondering why we can't rise above above ground level. Okay, wondering why we can't get to the altitude that we need to get into. An eagle cannot soar if it grips something too heavy. Now, there's some strong, mighty beings, okay? But if it grips something too heavy, it will not be able to soar. You have to release what isn't assigned to you and grip what is. God didn't design you to be weak, but He designed you for strength, and you must be disciplined. Strength must be disciplined. And here I read Exodus 13, 3 through 4. Then Moses climbed the mountain, and this is when he went to meet God on Mount Sinai. Um, to appear before God, the Lord called to him from the mountain and said, "Give these instructions to the family of Jacob. Announce it to the descendants of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians. You know how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself." Excuse me. Eagles represents fearlessness. Okay. Eagles represents fearlessness. Their soaring abilities. They use thermal currents to rise higher. They rise above storms. Storm winds actually lifts them. They fly into the storm. Okay, they fly into the storm. We know when it's raining outside and we're outside, we running to find shelter. We are running to get in the vehicle or to get into the building or get into our house or wherever we may be, or we have an umbrella, okay? But actually, the storm is what lifts them. How many can honestly say that when we go through things in life, let's take life as a storm, okay? When we go through things that life, some of us want to lay everything down and we tired and we don't want to do no more. We're sick of it. But actually, the storm and what we go through in life is supposed to lift you. And here again, eagles do not run from storms, they fly into them because storm winds create lift. Other birds hide, but eagles rise. The very thing meant to intimidate you might be the very thing meant to elevate you. The very thing meant to intimidate you might be the very thing That's actually meant to elevate you. Some of us, and I can honestly say, some of us, we look at people and we look at things and we look at our past trauma, and we're still operating in bitterness and anger and stuff like that. But when you realize that you went through what you went through because it was meant to elevate you, it was meant to create who you are to become, it was to create a bold, mighty warrior of God. And until you realize that, you're going to still be stuck in those places, okay? So Isaiah 40 and 31 says, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. They do not fear heights, but nest on high cliffs or tall trees. A elevated perspective. Come on, somebody. Isaiah 40 and 31 does not say storms disappear. It says strength is renewed. Fearlessness is an absence of storms, it's trust in the winds and when the storms come, okay? It doesn't say you're going to go without having trials and tribulations in life. I wish people would talk about that more, even in this community, in this walk with God. That just because you come on over here to God's side, it doesn't say you're going to be absence from storms. You're going to be absence from trials and tribulations. That is not how it is, okay? You're going to have to still go through some things, but you have to trust in the storms. You have to trust in the wind that is something on the other side of this that's going to make me that's better than what it is right now, okay? So the next slide is still eagles represents fearlessness. So we have to build high so you can see far. They build nests in high cliffs or tall trees, a elevated perspective. Job 39 and 27 through 29 says, is it at your command? And this is God checking Job. Okay, let me put that out there. This is God checking Job and speaking to Job at this moment. Is it at your command that the eagle rises to the heights to make its nest? It lives on the cliffs, making its home on a distant rocky crag. From there, it hunts its prey, keeping watch with piercing eyes. So, Job 39 says that the eagle makes its nest in high places. Elevation gives vision. When you're elevated and you're on a high cliff, and you're somewhere and you can look down, it gives you vision. When you stay low, when you stay on ground level, everything around you feels big, okay? Everything's around you feel big. Problems feel overwhelming, and opinions from others and people feels loud. Can I tell you, I don't care what nobody got to say and how they say it. Now, do words hurt? Yeah, they hurt. But when you're in an elevator and you know God is elevating you, people opinions will not be as loud as God's voice. God's voice going to be louder. What thus says the Lord is going to be a louder than what people opinions are about you, okay? So when you rise, you see patterns, you're able to see strategy, and you are able to see beyond your own emotions, okay? High places require solitude. High places require solitude. Not everyone can come. Now, and am I saying that everybody got to be lonely and you got to walk this thing by you? No, that ain't no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everybody isn't meant to go with you. As I said before and earlier, some of you are still trying to hold on to people, places, and things. But high places require solitude. Not everyone can come. So God might give you a whole nother family that's not your blood. Okay? Because half of your blood ain't trying to get right. They want to eat off what God gives you. And God said, not the so. Okay? This shall not be. I need them to get to the place where you are trusting me, where you are loving on me, where you are dependent on me. I need them to get to that place too. I don't need you to just hand out free BBs, okay? I need them to get to that place too. But lives at altitude. Clarity lives at altitude. So eagles represents renewal as well. Strength does not remove the process. Again, eagles molt, which means they shed old feathers and grow new ones yearly. So Psalms 103 and 5. Who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles? Okay. The process of eagles shedding their feathers is vital for their survival. They have to shed. It's vital for their survival, allowing them to replace feathers damaged by the sun, by the wind, and by the daily wear. Come on, we're talking about how strong these eagles are. We're talking about how fearless they are. We're talking about all these things with this eagle and how their grip is more powerful than a lion, okay? But guess what? They get damaged too. They get damaged too. And when they replace feathers, they have to replace them on the opposite side. Like if you lose one on the left, you have to lose one on the right too, so that they never become flightless. They will always be able to fly. So most people preach about the renewal. We got a lot of people preaching about the renewal, but only few preach about the damage. Only few preach about what it really takes. Only few preach about what you actually go through. Come on, we got to stop making it seems like this walk is all grits and gravy and sausage gravy and all this other stuff that we love to eat. Okay, we got to stop making it seem sweet all the time. Because not only a few actually preach about the damage. And eagle's feathers become worn from wind resistance. It become worn from sun exposure. It become worn from battle in the air and hunting pressure. They don't avoid the elements though. They live in them. Even the strongest bird in the sky still faces friction. It still faces heat, pressure, resistance, because the higher you go in life, the higher that the eagle go, the stronger the wind will be. So some of you think if I grow in God, things will get easier. Absolutely not. My mentor, my spiritual leader always says the what she say, the higher you go, it's a new level, a new realm, and the more witches, the more warlocks, the tensions of the warfare is. Okay, the if I grow in God, things will get easier mindset. Cancel it out your head. Come on. We be looking at people and we be praying for that gift, but you don't know what it took for them to get that gift. You don't know what it took for them to get what they at, okay? They may get clearer. Things may get clearer to you as you elevate, but not easier, okay? Not well, you don't have to fight all these different. No, you just know how to do it. Okay? Isaiah 40 and 31 says, Isaiah 30 and 41, I'm sorry, y'all. Isaiah 40 and 31 does not say, they that wait on the Lord shall avoid the storms. But it does say, they shall mount up. Mountain requires wind, and wind is resistance. Growth in God does not remove endurance, it actually strengthens it. It strengthens your endurance, okay? Growth in God does not remove endurance, it strengthens it. Renewal is proof that damage happened. If you are shedding, it's because you've been flying, okay? If you are shedding, it's because you've been flying. So they say the devil don't mess with nothing that's already his. Okay, he's not attacking something that's his and that he's not intimidated by. Okay, so if the devil ain't bothering you, I'm just gonna He ain't intimidated by you, okay? So here is Psalms 103 and 5. And I read it in different translation. I wrote it in the NLT, NIV, and KJV. And why? Because all of it is saying the same thing, but that very first sentence, all of them says something different. So Psalms 103 and 5 says, He satisfieth thy mouth with good things. That's the KJV version. In Hebrew, mouth isn't just physical eating. It represents speech, intake, appetite, and desire. Okay? And as you see in NIV, it says, Who satisfies your desires with good things. So when God satisfies your mouth with good things, He recalibrates your cravings. You don't crave chaos when you've tasted peace. Okay? When you've got a sense of peace, you ain't trying to be in nobody else's mess. You ain't trying to be in no chaos. You don't crave drama when you've tasted clarity. And you don't crave dysfunction when you've tasted order. This is why your environment matters, your conversations matters, music that you listen to matters, whether y'all want to believe it or not. The company you keep matters, and what you scroll on matters. Because whatever fills your mouth eventually fills your heart. Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, I'm sorry, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But before it comes out, it has to go in. Before it comes out, it has to go in. If your appetite is off, if your appetite is off, check your intake. Check your intake. Check your intake. God doesn't renew strength, He renews desires. He renews desires. I'm sorry, y'all. I meant to say He doesn't just renew strength, He renews desire. Okay. He doesn't just renew your strength, He renews desire. Because I said that didn't sound right. Okay. Because I know I read that in the Bible so well. All right. Now we're going to go to this one. Eagles represent extraordinary vision. So eyes forward, wings open, no distraction. They possess the most extraordinary vision in the animal kingdom with a visual 40 times 8 stronger than humans. They are incredibly focused and precise hunters. They can see prey over 2 miles away and they rise above distractions and maintain their purpose. They know how to adapt to their environment when they're not hunting, okay? So an eagle locks in on prey from miles away. It does not flap and circle. It does not get distracted mid-air. Hebrews 12 and 2 says, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. The word looking means to fix your eyes upon with intensity. To focus is a weapon. When you lock in and you focus on what you know God has called you to do, on what you know God is pulling you to do, when you're focused on not the situation that is around you, but when you're focused on the call, when you're focused on the promise, that is a weapon. The world itself offers noise. It offers people's opinions. It offers comparison. It offers much negativity and instant gratification. Instant gratification. But eagles don't feed on what's on the ground unless it's assignment. Okay? They don't stay low unless necessary. Colossians 3 and 2, King James Version says, Set your affection on things above, not on things of the earth. You cannot soar while feeding on ground level thinking. You cannot soar while feeding on ground level thinking, okay? We need to rise above this ground level thinking. We need to rise above self. We need to rise above always offended. We need to rise above pride. We need to that is ground level thinking. We need to rise above poverty. That is ground level thinking. Okay? That is ground level thinking. The higher your calling is, the narrower your focus must be. If you keep your eyes on the promise, you won't be moved by pressure. Keep your eyes on the promise and you won't be moved by pressure. Storms don't stop eagles, storms lift them. While the birds hide, come on now. During the storm, while the birds are hiding, that they have shelter. Eagles spread their wings. The same wind that pushes other down pushes eagles up. You are an eagle flopping with chickens. Something that can't go as high as you. You are an eagle flopping around with chickens. Okay, I want me a few. You are an eagle flopping around with cats and dogs and cows and all this other stuff. Okay. That they don't even go together, do it. Okay, all right. Understood. So what if the resistance in your life is actually your elevation system? What if the resistance in your life is actually your elevation system? Y'all, I promise you I'm done. I promise you I'm almost done. Eagles are heavenly symbolism. Now, I was studying Ezekiel recently, and boy, I tell you, I'm telling you, his visions and things that God allowed him to see was so wonderful. So these are throne room creatures, okay? They are throne room creatures. Ezekiel spoke about seeing the face that's supposed to be of an eagle in visions. So that you can find that in Ezekiel 1 and 10 and Ezekiel 10 and 14. So this is not just bird imagery, okay? Ezekiel's vision, the eagle face was one of the four creatures around the throne of God. It was one of the four creatures. That means the eagle represents something heavenly, not earthly survival, but divine function. And God often compares himself to the wing, as he say he will mount us on his wings. Okay, he compare himself to the eagle. Okay, the lion represents authority. The ox represented a service. The man represents intelligence, but the eagle itself represents vision. The eagle face was positioned in the throne room, which means the eagle sees from where God sits. This is revelation beyond emotion. This is discernment beyond gossip. And this is perspective beyond circumstances. When God gives you eagle sight, he is inviting you to see situations from heaven's angle, not from your own angle, not from your own flesh, not from your own eyesight. Okay, heaven's angle, God's vision. I know a couple times I've heard people say you're gonna have eagle eye vision. You're gonna be able to see things from God's perspective. So you cannot respond earthly when you've been shown heavenly. This right here almost took me out because my mentor has us studying the book of Enoch. And one thing I learned in the big book of Enoch is that the angels that were sent down to watch us, that lusted after us, the reason why God didn't forgive them because they had been shown all the great things in heaven. But you decided to lower yourself down and dumb yourself down just to sleep because you allow a lust to take you in and you wanted to sleep with us humans. And he was like, no, 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 no. I'm not forgiving this. because you've been shown the greater, you've been shown the heavenly things, and you allowed yourself and your flesh to sit here and take what was up there in the heavens and what you've seen in the heavens and defile it because you wanted to lust on what was on the earth. You cannot respond earthly when you've been shown heavenly. So some of the frustrations that we feel in life is because we're trying to solve things from ground level. Come on now. We have to change our mindset. God didn't put us here to think earthly, whether you believe it or not. He created us to be some of the most wonderful creatures, wonderful creatures. But the world done had its way, okay? But God is calling his people back. He's calling his people back. Some of our frustrations in life we feel in life because we're trying to solve things from ground level that require throne room perspective. Eagles are not scavengers in this context, okay? They are throne attendants. That means your elevation is not ego, your elevation is alignment. When you rise, it should bring you closer to the presence of God and not farther away from it, okay? When you rise, it should bring you closer to the presence of God and not farther away. I promise you, I only got two more slides after this one. So, this slide, strategic warfare, not emotional fighting. That's what we're gonna that's what we need to focus on, okay? Strategic warfare, not emotional fighting. So the eagle carries the characteristics of a mighty warrior. A mighty warrior is not loud. A mighty warrior is calculated in everything that they do. They is calculated in everything that they do. Now, you probably listen to this video and you probably saying she loud. Baby, I'm loud because I was born into, I'm sorry, y'all, I have kids. No, not right now. I'm teaching right now. I need you to go back upstairs. You can get that in a minute. Get it. Okay. A mighty, I was born. No, it's going to melt. Go put it back in the freezer and you can get it in a minute. I was born into a loud family, okay? We are loud. We are some loud human beings. You put us together in one room, honey, Jesus. And please don't be watching a game or playing cards, okay? We just loud, okay? So a mighty warrior is not loud. A mighty warrior is calculated in everything that they do. So we can look at the characteristics of an eagle. They build high, which is strategic positioning. They watches before attacking, which is discernment. They strike with precision, which is focus. They protect fiercely, which is authority, and they endure storms, which is strength. Notice something here. The eagle does not waste energy. It does not attack everything that moves. It waits. It does not attack everything that moves, it waits. Some believers are exhausted also because they are fighting battles they were never assigned. My God, today, that ought to slap somebody in the face, okay? They are fighting battles they were never assigned. A warrior with no strategy is just an emotional person. But an eagle studies the wind, it studies the terrain, it studies the target, then it moves in. Spiritual maturity is knowing when to rise, when to wait, when to strike, when to protect, and when to ignore. And here's the deeper level to it all. Eagles don't fight for territory they weren't given. Okay, as I just used the reference of the eagles flopping with chickens. Eagles ain't got no business down on that ground fighting for the chickens' land and on that ground fighting with the chickens because of something the chickens own. When you supposed to be elevated high in the cliff, building your own nest on a cliff, okay? So eagles do not fight for territory they weren't given. They guard what's theirs. This is why a lot of us are struggling. You're fighting for someone else's gift and territory that was not given to you. You're mad at other people because of the call that's on their life, how God is using them, how they are prophetically gifted, how they are prayer warriors, and how they pray. All of these things that you are mad about, and that is not the territory that God has given you. Go find your calling. Go find your territory and watch your life be so much easier. Everybody ain't meant to hold a microphone in their hand. Everybody ain't called to run a church. Your ministry might be to just go out there, help the homeless folks, and preach the gospel. We are still able to do things in the kingdom without the mindset that we have to have a microphone in our hand. Okay? If it was up to me, I wouldn't be on here making this video. I wouldn't have a ministry. But that is not, if it was up to me, I'd rather sit in the background. I'd rather serve my leader and help my leader out. Let me be an armor bearer. Let me give you your water. Let me wipe your sweat. Let me pray for you and pray over you and cover you spiritually. I'd rather sit in the background, but God is calling his people to rise up to the forefront in your own territory. Your own territory, to stop fighting for folks' gifts. Stop fighting for something that doesn't belong to you. Some of you are called to guard. Some of you are called to guard your home, your children, your mind, and your ministry, and even your peace. But you must learn to fight from elevation and not irritation. Fight from elevation and not irritation. Okay? The eagles does not chase from ground. It descends from above. That means you win before you arrive. Because positioning determines outcome. Positioning determines outcome. So here I wanted to share, I had to add this the last minute when I was doing my teaching with my mentorship group, under my mentorship group, with my leader. And I should have added it here, the different pictures of eagles. Because the particular one that I saw was all brown, everything brown, face brown, wings brown, everything brown, And I later learned that it was the sub-adult eagle, right? Which is the transitioning stage. So anyway, dark feathers, speckled, still learning wind patterns, still developing precision. That is the juvenile eagle. But here's the key. Even at this juvenile stage, the wingspan is already large. I kid you not. Go look it up. I saw one eagle. I think somebody posted on TikTok, and the lady was like, "Oh, people keep asking something about the colors and stuff," and she said, "And it's because it's a baby. He hasn't fully developed yet. It's a baby." But that was just pertaining to the color, right? Because of the simple fact, those wings on that juvenile eagle, on that baby eagle, as she would say, there was some big old wings. There was some big wings. So the wingspan is already large on the juvenile. The strength is already present on the juvenile. The design is already intact, okay? They already designed. It doesn't look like the adult yet, but it is not less powerful than the adult. So the revelation here is some of you are in your juvenile stage, but you don't look polished. You don't look seasoned. You don't look established, but your capacity is already here. We feel like we got to look a certain way. We got to walk a certain way. We got to talk a certain way because that is the mindset that the world has labeled and put on us. Okay? No, 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 no. Come and do what the Lord has said do. If he has told you to do it, it don't matter. Your capacity is already here. You might not have the $50,000 square foot church. You might not have all the funds to feed 1,000,001 homeless people, but you have something. Your capacity is already here. Stop. If you're going to sit there and wait Oh Lord, let me wait till I have enough to feed at least 50 homeless people. What God is telling you to do with what you can with what you have right now. You're gonna continue to wait. If He's already told you to do what you can with what you have, you're gonna continue to wait. The- okay. All right. So your capacity is already here. You are not small because you are new. You are not small because you are new. You are developing. I had somebody tell me, "Oh, I understand because you're a new believer in this walk and with Christ, and you're new to this. That doesn't make me any smaller because I'm new." Matter of fact, God is able to give me new revelation and more revelation than what you could ever have, and you've been in this for years. Because I have the capacity to withhold it. My capacity is already there. Okay. The immature and the subadult, which is the one that I saw in my dream. This is the one that I saw in my dream. That is the transitioning stage where the feathers are shifting and the colors are blending. Okay. Not This is the in-between season. This is the one God showed me, and I'm telling you, it hit me hard. This is the in-between season. Okay. Not who you are, not fully who you're becoming. I'm sorry, not who you were. You're not who you were, but you're not fully who you're becoming. This is the hardest stage spiritually. I'm telling you. I know He was speaking. When I learned this, I said, "Okay, God, I got you. I get what you're saying. I hear you now, big dog. I hear you. I understand." Okay. This is the hardest stage spiritually because people don't recognize you here. You don't look like your past, but you don't resemble your final form yet. So growth feels awkward in this stage. Becoming feels unfair in this stage, but transition does not cancel capacity. My transition does not cancel my capacity. Your transition does not cancel your capacity. You are not confused. You are transforming. You are not, I like to repeat myself because I want y'all to understand how serious this is. Okay. You are not confused. You are transforming. So the adult eagle, which is this eagle right here, which is what I posted. Okay. The adult eagle has a white head, defined appearance, and is recognizable authority. But here's what people miss. The adult eagle does not gain new wings. It grows into what was already there. What was already there, okay? It was always built for altitude. The difference is maturity, not size. The difference was maturity, not size. Spiritual maturity is not about receiving more power, it's about stewarding what you already have. The juvenile eagle can already soar. The mature eagle, which is the adult eagle, simply knows how to soar longer. The difference is not strength, it is endurance, it is experience, and it is discernment. Okay. So that's what I'm going back to. We be mad at people for what they are in life and in their spiritual walk, and you be wanting their gifts. But it took some maturing to get to where they are. They're not there because they just hopped out of bed and God just put it on them. No, they had to go through some things. They had to mature to get to where they are. So now they know how to handle people. They know how to handle things. They know how to not fly off the hinges so quick. They know how to ignore the naysayers. They know how to not worry and let people's opinions offend them. They know how to not walk into offense because they've matured. They know how to not respond to every little thing because they've matured. Okay? So stop measuring yourself by appearance. because heaven measures capacity, not cosmetic. He measures capacity, not cosmetics. Okay. So no matter what stage you are in, whether you're in juvenile, whether you're the sub-adult maturing, or you're seasoned, the call is the same. The call is the same, which is to rise. The appearance changes. The assignment that God has placed on you does not. Your assignment doesn't change. Your appearance change, but your assignment doesn't change. Feather shifts. The calling does not. Season evolves. The design remains. You are not waiting to become powerful. You are learning to handle the power you already carry. The power has already been in you. The power has already been in you. You just learning how to handle the power that you already carry. So the eagle does not apologize for altitude, you guys. The eagle does not apologize for altitude. I will not apologize for what God has me today. I will not apologize for what God is doing with me on today. I will not apologize for my higher level of speaking, my altitude and how I carry myself, my altitude and how I handle people, my altitude and walking away from some things. I will not apologize for my altitude. It does not shrink to make others comfortable. I will not shrink myself. You will not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Either you get with the program or you won't. Okay. But I would not shrink myself in this season to make anybody comfortable, because one thing for sure and two for certain, I'm not following people, I'm following Christ. Can't nobody tell me so easily to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And God ain't came and told me. I'm gonna take that thing back to God. We got some people in here. If they sister, they brother, they cousin come and say, "Well, I feel like you should do this," they gonna go do it. I ain't following you. I'm following Christ. You can't tell me what to do. I can take what you said and take it back to the Lord. My mentor always say, take everything back to the Lord, even what I say. I don't care who you think I am or who I am in Christ and who God has called me to be. Take it back to God. So we do not shrink to make others comfortable. Okay. The eagle does not compete with birds. They were never meant to build, that were never built for height. Eagles does not compete with birds that were never meant for heights, okay? And neither should you. Rising to the call means releasing what weighs you down, guarding what God has assigned you to, sharpening your vision, disciplining your focus, and aligning with heaven's perspective. This is not about flying higher for attention. Man, God, here today, we have so many attention seekers, and God say people prophesy in my name, but they are far from me. I'm not with them, okay? And they're doing it for attention. We are not flying high for attention. God will get all the glory and all the praise. I don't care about attention. If I could sit in the background, I will, my Lord. Because all that attention come with a whole bunch of other stuff, okay? So we are not flying how for attention and to be recognized, okay? It is about ascending for responsibility. Ascending for responsibility. The call is not rise so you can be seen. That is not what God has called you to do. Okay. He is a jealous God. Okay. You are worshiping yourself at that point. You want all the stuff to be about you instead of God Himself. You're worshiping yourself at that point. The call is to rise so you can see from God's perspective. Elevation requires internal transformation. This is why I pray, God, transform me from the inside out, renew me from the inside out. Anything that is inside of me that is not of you, cleanse me from the inside out. The eagle is not powerful because it flies. It flies because it is built differently. And the same is true here spiritually. The same is true here spiritually. So before I leave you today, and before I end this recording, I want to read a declaration. And the declaration is, I declare that I am rising into divine alignment. Come on, somebody. I declare that I am not shedding because I am weak. I am releasing what cannot carry my calling. I embrace refinement without resentment. I accept elevation without arrogance. And I receive vision without distortion. My perspective is maturing. My discernment is sharpening. And my appetite is stabilizing. I will not fight battles that are not assigned to me. I will not grip what God is asking me to release. And I will not descend into distraction that diminish my destiny. I am positioned with intention. I am guarded by wisdom. And I am strengthened for longevity. What God has entrusted to me, I will steward with clarity. What he has revealed to me, I will handle with maturity. And I will not rise for recognition, but for responsibility. I am aligned with heaven's design. I am moved with discipline, and I walk in authority. And I will finish strong. Amen, somebody. Amen, somebody. So I hope this blesses someone on today. I hope this has blessed someone, and I pray